The year is 2025, a time when society grapples with evolving norms and the boundaries of personal freedoms are constantly tested. The hallowed halls of justice are often stages for dramatic showdowns. These courtrooms, with their imposing architecture and solemn atmosphere, have witnessed countless tales of conflict and resolution. But few could have predicted the firestorm erupting in a Scottish courtroom, a case that has sent shockwaves through the very fabric of society. The media frenzy outside the courthouse is a testament to the case's significance. Sandie Peggie, a dedicated nurse, finds herself in the legal crosshairs, accused of daring to challenge the modern orthodoxy. Her life, once defined by her commitment to patient care, is now overshadowed by legal battles. Her alleged crime, misgendering a transgender colleague, a single moment, a single word, has spiraled into a full-blown legal confrontation. Her ordeal has become a flashpoint, igniting a fierce debate about free speech, transgender rights, and the very nature of womanhood. The public is divided, with passionate voices on both sides. The case revolves around an encounter between Peggie and Dr. Beth Upton, a transgender male in the women's changing room at Victoria Hospital. What seemed like a private matter has now become a public spectacle. What began as an uncomfortable situation escalated into a legal battle with far-reaching consequences. Lawyers present their arguments, each side convinced of their moral high ground. Peggie, armed with her convictions, stands defiant against the formidable NHS fight. Her resolve is unwavering, even as the pressure mounts. The stakes are incredibly high, with potential ramifications for both women's rights and the freedom of expression. The outcome of this trial could set a precedent for future cases. This is not just a courtroom drama, it's a modern-day witch hunt. The echoes of history are unmistakable, reminding us of past injustices and the importance of vigilance in the face of societal change. Imagine the scene Christmas Eve at Victoria Hospital, a time for good cheer and shared humanity. The halls are adorned with festive decorations, and the spirit of the season is palpable. Staff members exchange warm greetings, and the Christmas tree in the lobby stands as a beacon of hope and joy. But beneath the surface, tensions simmered. The festive atmosphere couldn't mask the underlying stress and fatigue that many of the hospital staff were feeling. Sandie Peggie, preparing for her shift, encountered Dr. Beth Upton in the women's changing room, a space meant to be a sanctuary for women. It was a place where they could find a moment of respite from the demands of their roles. What should have been a routine encounter became a powder keg. Words were exchanged, and the atmosphere quickly turned hostile. The details remain contested, with conflicting accounts obscuring the exact sequence of events. Each side has its own version of what transpired. Peggie claims discomfort and surprise at Upton's presence in the women's changing room. She felt that her personal space had been invaded. Upton, however, alleges intimidation and harassment. She felt threatened and cornered by Peggie's aggressive demeanor. What is clear is that the encounter sparked an argument, a verbal confrontation that would reverberate far beyond the walls of the hospital. The incident quickly escalated, drawing in other staff members and creating a scene. This Christmas Eve clash became the catalyst for a legal battle that would test the very limits of tolerance and understanding in our society. The repercussions of that night would be felt for months, as the case made its way through the courts, challenging the principles of workplace harmony and respect. The courtroom buzzed with anticipation. The prosecution, armed with a narrative of hate and bigotry, painted Peggie as the aggressor. They meticulously dissected every word, every glance, every interaction, seeking to portray her as a transphobic bully. But was this an accurate portrayal of a woman simply expressing her discomfort, or a calculated attempt to silence dissent? The cross-examination was relentless. Peggie found herself bombarded with questions about the Christmas Eve incident, her words twisted and scrutinized. The prosecution zeroed in on her use of male pronouns for Dr. Upton, framing it as evidence of malicious intent. The courtroom became a battleground of perspectives, with each side vying to control the narrative. Section 4. The Pronoun Battlefield, Language as a Weapon. The courtroom drama took a linguistic turn. The prosecution argued that Peggie's use of male pronouns for Dr. Upton was not merely a slip of the tongue, but a deliberate act of aggression. They argued that language has power, that words can wound and invalidate. Peggie's defense countered, arguing that her language, while perhaps clumsy, was not intended to cause harm. They maintained that focusing on pronouns deflected from the real issue, the right of women to feel safe and secure in their own spaces. The courtroom became a battleground for the very meaning of words, a stark reminder of the power of language to shape perceptions and influence outcomes. Section 5. David and Goliath, the power dynamics at play. This section delves into the intricate and often unseen forces that shape our world. The case of Sandie Peggie is about far more than a single incident in a hospital changing room. It is a microcosm of larger societal issues, reflecting the struggles faced by many in similar positions. It lays bare the stark power dynamics at play in our society. These dynamics often go unnoticed but have profound impacts on individuals and communities. On one side stands Peggie, a working-class nurse thrust into the spotlight for daring to voice her beliefs. Her courage and determination are emblematic of the everyday heroism found in ordinary people. On the other side looms NHS Fife, a monolithic institution with vast resources and the weight of public opinion behind it. This institution represents the established order, often resistant to change. The case raises uncomfortable questions about who has the right to define reality in our society. It challenges us to think about the balance of power and the voices that are often marginalized. Is it the individual, with their own lived experiences and beliefs? Can one person's truth stand against the collective narrative imposed by powerful entities? Or is it the institutions, with their agendas and their power to silence dissent? This case forces us to confront these questions and consider the implications for our own lives and society at large. Section 6. Echoes of Salem, Silencing Dissent in the Name of Progress. The Sandie Peggie case carries with it chilling echoes of history's darkest chapters. Just as those accused of witchcraft in Salem were silenced for challenging the prevailing orthodoxy, Peggie finds herself branded a bigot for daring to question the new dogma. The message is clear: conform or face the consequences. The very idea of open debate, of respectful disagreement, is being eroded. We are witnessing the rise of a new intolerance, one that masquerades as progress while stifling dissent. Section 7. The stakes couldn't be higher, a chilling effect on free speech. The implications of the Sandie Peggie case extend far beyond the individuals involved. This is a watershed moment for free speech in an increasingly censorious world. If Peggie is silenced, what message does that send to others who dare to challenge the status quo? The chilling effect on free speech is undeniable. People will self-censor, afraid to express their true beliefs for fear of being labeled bigots or transphobes. This case is a stark reminder that the right to free speech, once considered sacrosanct, is now under threat.